Hello everyone, this is G-Shock High Fashion Channel. Today I'm gonna open up this neon Illuminator Mudmaster model and just share with all of you guys what this model made out of and how it was assembled to the way it is. I mean, it feels very tough. Okay, without wasting too much time, I'm gonna need to remove the bezel on this model first because it is very much on our way. And as you can see, we have an Allen head type of screw that's locking it up on this part over here, which is looking really big as well. So I'm pretty sure that is not a 1.5 millimeters screwdriver. We're gonna need this one in the middle here, which is the 2 millimeters type screwdriver, which is really big considered to lock just a watch band on this model. Look at that, we have 4 of these screws. Alright, remove all 4 screws. As you can see now, it is very standard shaft on the screw, but we have emptied out part of flattened part down there, and we have some screw, we have the thread in the middle there, and just flatten out part at the end over there for just for the look. So that's very interesting. All 4 screws come with a washer as well that is come in clear white color. That's to prevent any sort of water or mud at all to enter this part of the watch. So that's very cool thing, and this part over here feels really tough. It even looks tough. I think we could already remove this wrist hug or watch band support. So here it is. Let's pop it up at the front right there, and this is it. Wow, very nice. And you can see on how the watch band actually looks like right now. We have 3 of this groove over here, so that's looking really tough type of structure. And you can see now this part over here has a texture at the bottom. The upper part has standard smooth finish and it's really solid as well. And I don't think we could remove this watch band just yet, because as you guys look down here, look at that, we have 1 more pin that is holding the watch band into place. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each watch band also comes with another support pin in there. So each of this was locked with this 2 and also 2 pin in tiny one. So that's very interesting. And for this, I'm gonna need to bring in another tool to remove that. I think it's pretty standard. All you need to do is just to pull it out. Just try pull it out. It's gonna be pretty tricky though, but I don't think it's even locked with anything. Just pull it out. Try it couple more times, and I think I got it right now. Alright, so they're coming out now. Alright, there it is. Look at that. This is the pin over here. Standard head. I'm gonna add a close-up photo, of course. Right now, time for me to remove all 3 of this one left. Right, the first one always been the hardest one. As you can see now, this watch band already fall off on its own, and this part as well. This screw and also this pin also locking this watch bezel as well. As you can see, this part, this round hole over here is a part of the watch bezel as well. So look at that. So everything was locked into place very well all together. So supporting each other. That's how we know this thing is really tough. Alright, before I could remove the bezel now, I'm going to need to remove the side screw that is holding it into place. So we're going to need this simple tool only. I'm pretty sure this screw over here is just a small one, just similar as any other model out there. Alright, pull this thing out. Look at that, tiny one. Pretty standard stuff over here. And remove this one as well. Only 2 of them. But I mean, it's tiny because we don't really need this anymore. So we got all those tough looking parts already. And you know what, I'm gonna need to remove this buckle as well on this piece, which is pretty standard locking style. Standard spring bar, just press it downward like that, and it's already popping out already. So this part over here is very much easy. Let me try to pull it right now. Alright, it's already coming out, and this will be the band keeper as well. Standard thing, feels pretty cheap actually, but it looks very nice. It matches very well with this wrist hugger or this support over here. So let's go. Put this thing at the back over here, and now back to the watch bezel. As you can see, we have 4 more screws at the top over here. However, you don't need to worry about this because this is just for aesthetics. This is not locking anything, just added on there to make the watch look really industrial and really tough as the way it is. Let's try to remove the bezel. Now it's gonna be pretty hard as well, so I'm gonna need to try to force it out. Since the button cylinder is pretty high up there, I'm gonna need to remove the bezel over it as well, so it's gonna be really hard since the bezel is also pretty solid. So I'm gonna need two of this tool and just try to force it out. There it is. Alright, that's how I remove it. It's way easy than just forcing it using your finger, and the other side will just snap out right that. And this is all the parts on the bezel. We have G-Shock at the top here, and you can see the pin actually goes down there. If you want to remove this pin at the top here, you could do so by just forcing it out like this. Just spin, press it really hard, and it will like pop out like that. Alright, that's done on the bezel over here. Let's move on to the watch hard case. As you guys can see, nothing else that's locking anything. We already have our access to the back plate as well, which is pretty standard locking mechanism, 4 screws, so nothing much fancy on over here. But you guys can see on how the button cylinder looks like right now. The button is pretty tall up there. Still could operate the function like no problem at all. And we can still use the light button on there. Look at that, it's very nice. Okay, I'm gonna need to remove this 4 screw right now. Alright, let's pop it up, remove it. There it is. This is how the interior of a neon Illuminator Mudmaster looks like. So we have a standard speaker over here, so nothing much fancy going on over here. It was connected with the spring and also this metal part up there to produce the sound. Alright, now I think we're gonna need to remove this cushion, the back cushion as well, which is weirdly shaped as well. Alright, here it is. Nothing much going on over here. We have a cushioning point at the top there as well, and that's pretty much it. Put this together back now. I think we already could remove this module in here, right? Let me try to pry this thing out somehow. Alright, how about on this side? We have, there it is, on the button side. Alright, pull this module holder out, and there it is. The engine's already coming out, and this is how the interior looks like for the buttons. As you guys can see, we have two C-clip that is holding this button up here, this button that you could press, and the other C-clip is holding this cylinder over here. So if you want to remove this metal cylinder, you're gonna need to remove that C-clip as well, and then this part could be removed, and then you could remove everything else, and you can see how it was built. But I don't want to do so because it's gonna be really hard to do, and it's gonna be really hard for me to place it back in there. But basically, this is how the watch button was constructed. Okay, now we're gonna need to remove this metal minutes. I believe this is the 24-hour index ring. So let me try to pry this thing out. I can't see anything that is screwing it down into place. So I'm pretty sure this part is just glued on top of here, right? Most of the time it's just glued on top of here. So let me try to pry this thing out. Yep, they just double-sided tape it. So let's remove this anyway, and there it is. Oop. Right, so this is the hard case, which is pretty big as well. This will be the ring. The 24-hour index ring comes in metal though, so this part is solid, glossy as well. Very beautiful. Alright, put this together back now, and this is the module, the engine. Let me remove this module. We could remove the index over here. This is the Illuminator Index, the Neo Bright Index, I believe. If you press the light button right now, you can see that. Look at that, it's gonna glows everything, of course, but I'm gonna need to stop the stopwatch first. Alright, look at how gorgeous it looks, and it is indeed really big as well. You know what, remove this module holder first, and then I want to measure the size of this thing. Wow, seems like it was taped. Look at that, we have a double-sided tape at the back over here. No wonder it's gonna be pretty hard for me to remove this white part, but it's so fine. We could always just force it out. There it's already coming out already. Okay, and I couldn't see any of those alpha gel just yet, so I think we don't have it. So put it at the back, and this is the module. As you guys can see now, we have a Casio Japan built engine, no jewels of course, and you guys can see the AC disc was buried all the way down there, pretty far away from the battery, and the battery also pretty small as well. It operates on, where's this? I think they're written over here. It operates on CTL920F type of rechargeable lithium-ion battery, so that's why it's pretty tiny compared to the size of the whole piece. And we have a coil motor in this at the center here. I believe this is to operate the hours and the minutes hands, and we have an NT slot at the top over here. This usually will be used to add in those antenna for the wave scepter model, since this is a GSG-100 aka the non-wave scepter model. We won't receive those antenna at the top here. If you get the GWG-100 version, you're gonna get an antenna on top there. Basically you're paying extra to get this part, and also you can see now we don't need it anyway. The watch could still be operated. Looking at the side, it looks very nicely done as well, so that's very interesting, very nice of them. So you could see on how their work is done. No wonder this thing costs so much. The details is there. You can see what you paid for on this piece. And again, moving to the front part over here, this is the index. That is interesting part on this piece. A neo bright is gonna glow very well, and there is the LED light that's gonna glow a black light or a violet light down there. Look at that, pretty standard looking LED lighting, but it glows in different colorways, so that's very interesting as well. And we could see now the solar panel on top here, very detail made. Casio, all this digital display. You could touch them if you want to. You can move the hands if you want to. Anyway, the rest are just basic stuff, alright? And before in this video, let's measure the size of this thing. It is just round in shape, so it won't be that hard to measure this thing. Or imagine how big or how small this thing actually is. Alright, forgot to turn this on, right? Alright, 0 now. Okay, put this thing aside over here. We're gonna measure at 33.13 millimeters body, which is very big actually for a module alone. Which if you compare this to other watches that I opened up before, all of them most of the time will be way smaller than this. Top to the bottom, I believe they are almost the same, right? 33 or 32.9, somewhere around there, almost the same in size as well. Right, for the thickness, however, it looks pretty flat to me, so let's measure it at the back of the module all the way to the top of the center of the hours and the minutes hand. So we're gonna look at 7.53 millimeters in thickness. And for the weight, it feels pretty heavy as well. They have those hefty feels on it. So let me put all this at the side now. About over there. And turn this thing on. Alright, put this thing on the top. And we're gonna have a look at only 7 grams. Just 7 grams watch. If you add all of this into here, you're gonna end up with an 88 grams watch, which is pretty to be lightweight as well compared to all the tough looking parts that you're gonna get over here and the tough feels that you have on this piece as well. Now I think I'm just gonna put all this back into place and just conclude this video right now. I hope you guys found this video useful, informative and entertaining as well for your future reference. Leave a like if this video does help me though, and also subscribe to see more contents like this coming up in the future. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support. This is G-Shock High Fashion channel, and